Learning songs by ear doesn't have to be that hard. And in fact, there's one stumbling block that I see in a lot of my students across the board, all ages, that once you get past that stumbling block, you'll start to make improvement much, much faster. And that is, we often, including me, we often try to put it on our instrument before we have a really clear sound image in our mind and before we understand what we're playing, before we connect what we're hearing to what the notes are on the instrument. Well, in this video, I'm going to dig back into the 6 principles that I gave you in the last video to give you a step-by-step method to learn the chords of a song using 8 days a week as our featured model. I'm Hans at tuneindigo.com. Let's get started. In this video, you are going to learn the chords to the verse of 8 days a week. Now, one thing that's really important to understand, when you're used to just trying to get it on your instrument and guess and get it wrong and then just guess again, you're habituating, guessing, and getting things wrong. And you're not practicing learning things slowly and in your mind before applying it to the instrument. We're going to go through the strategies of learning the bass line and the chords for this one song in a slow and deliberate way so that you know exactly what you need to do when you apply this to another song. The process stays the same, but the songs can change. The more you rinse and repeat this process, the faster it will go. So over time, what today is going to take us like 15 minutes, before you know it, you're going to be able to do this in like less than 1. The strategies sit on top of 3 principles. Principles are: listening to whole chunks of music keeps music learning musical. And what that means is we're not stopping and starting all the time when we listen to a recording and are transcribing. We listen to whole chunks and make an effort to do that. Of course, when I'm transcribing a jazz solo, a bebop solo, you often have to slow it down. But the more bits I can learn at a time, the more I understand them holistically. And that makes it much more musical. Listening with a focus lightens our cognitive load by pointing our attention to one musical element at a time, right? We're not trying to get everything all the time. When we listen to a section, we listen for one specific thing and allow ourselves to gently ignore the rest of the stuff. Finally, when we put it on our instrument, we play slowly enough so that we can pre-hear clearly, and that eliminates practicing mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, but what we never want to do is practice mistakes, because mistakes that are practiced are very hard to unpractice. Jumping now into our strategies and going a little more quickly now because we're collapsing those into time. We are going to find the sound of do. We are going to find the note do with as little guessing as possible. And in this case, we're going to use the whiteboard to help us with that. We're going to seek patterns and repeated phrases using our understanding of form to collapse what we're listening to into chunks that repeat, so that once we learn a thing that we know is repeated, we don't have to learn it again. We can just do it again. We're going to lead with our voice. And in this particular case, learning a bass line is especially challenging for treble singers because you need to sing the low stuff in your comfortable vocal range. And that itself is a practiced skill. We're going to translate this into solfège, and then we're going to map it to our instrument. And in this case, I'm playing it on the piano keyboard. I've got the link to the original Beatles recording, which I highly recommend you listen to if you haven't already. Many of you will be able to just conjure this up in your mind. I can't play it on the video for copyright purposes, so I have my simple piano arrangement, which gives you what you need. Listening with a focus, I'm going to play the verse for you, the simple piano version. And now you're going to focus on just finding do. Now, we did this in the previous video. It's in the same key, but here it comes. Just to practice finding do. So now we've got do. And so I'm going to go over to the Tune Indigo whiteboard, and I'm going to go to whiteboard.tuneindigo.com. So we want to find do. Do, 8 days a week. Do, that's our note. We're going to hold it and find the key. That's a little too low. I'm going to just keep holding it, and clicking the up button or the down button till I get to that do. Perfect. And now we can look here. We see that it's in the key of D. D, do equals D. Now we're listening with a focus for the bass, because the bass line is a melody. Still playing the melody, because listening through the melody to hear the bass is its own skill. Raising it up into your comfortable vocal range, also an important skill. This time we are relieved of the responsibility of hearing specific notes. All we're listening for is same and different. Is anything repeated in this bass line? Let's just do the first 4 bars of this music. So we can think like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, out of those, listen now with a focus. Listen to the bass line. Notice if there's anything that repeats. Here it comes. Using the whiteboard, we can think 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Are any of these the same? Any of these the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. Are any of these the same? The first bit, the second bit, the third bit, or the fourth bit? Okay, I'll play it for you again. We're seeking same. Here it comes. If you said that the fourth bit is the same as the first bit, you're right. So I can just make a note, and if you're doing this on paper, you can write it down. Okay, now we're going to lead with our voice. Now this is something that becomes automatic and natural over time. When I was much younger, this kind of thing would take hours. Now I can do it in real time while listening to a song. Maybe you can too, and you'll do it even faster following these strategies. Okay, now we're going to find the melody of the bass line. We're going to follow the bass line with our voice. Now, when you listen to the Beatles play this, you might get your voice down there, da da, da 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 da. But if you're a treble singer, it's going to be really tough. So a really important skill is to be able to sing it in your own vocal range. This is kind of in a weird part of my vocal range, even at the octave higher. Da 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 da. If you're a real treble singer, a soprano or an alto, you're going to sing it even higher, and I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to trouble you with listening to me sing up that high. This chord progression happens the same for each of the parts that are the same in the verse. So we know that once we get the first 4 bars of chords, we're going to have the second 4 bars and then the end 4 bars, with the hold me, love me part being different. So we've got da 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 da, da 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 da. Now I've put the numbers of the beats in here as a placeholder, which you can do on paper. You can do it on the whiteboard, just to hold a place when we don't have lyrics to attach our solfège to. Now, I know this little thing that goes da, 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 da. There used to be a commercial for The Gap that would go, fall into the gap. And now I know that as do, la, so, mi, do. So I have that chunked in my memory as a kind of a group. Do, la, so, mi. And it's a great bass line for the one chord. So I know that this goes do, la, so, mi. Notice I put a little comma after, whoopsie. I put a little comma after la, so, and mi to make it so that it's treated like low la. Do, la, so, mi, da, 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 da. Again, I'm leading with my voice. I'm using my voice as a principal tool. What I'm not doing is poking around at the keys, hoping to get it right. I did that for a long time, and it didn't teach me anything. I don't want you to do that. I want you to find it in your voice, find it in your mind, map it to the instrument, and get it right the first time. Da, 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 da. I know that as re, re, da. Now, re, da. I know that as re, fi, re, fi. Do, la, so, mi, re, fi, fa, la, do, la. Oops, I got to make those all low. Re, fi, fa, la, do, la. And then the last bit is the same, right? Do, la, so, mi, re, fi, fa, la, do, la, so, mi. Do, la, so, mi, re, fi. Copy, because we know it's the same. Now, when I look at this, it's a lot of stuff. So I created a feature in the whiteboard that allows us to group notes. If I go here to the keyboard and type the up vertical arrow, some people call it pipe, it's right above the backslash, which is right above the return key. Do, la, so, mi, re. Now those guys, do, la, so, mi, that outlines the one chord. I need to build a feature in the whiteboard that allows us to use Roman numerals and chord names. Not quite there yet. Let me know if that's an important feature for you as I get this thing out there. And then I can create a little space with an underscore. Re, fi. That's its own chord. Give it a little space. Fa, la, do, la. Do, la, so, mi. And that happens twice, right? And so now I know the bass line goes do, la, so, mi. So that's our one chord, our D chord. Re, fi is our two major chord. Remembering, fi is the raised four. So, ooh, I need your love, babe. That's not it. Love, babe. So we raise the fa, the fourth note, to get fi, making the two chord major. Then we return fi to its fa state to get the four chord. And then we come back to the one chord. So what happens over time, you start to hear this re, fi as being the 2 chord that's major. In the key of D, the 1 chord is D. The 2 chord, major, built on Re, is an E chord. The 4 chord, built on Fa, which is G, is a major chord. And then that's the G chord. And then we come back home to the 1 chord. We do that twice, and then hold me, love me, hold me, love me. We've got here la, la. I'll put a whole bunch of space there so we know we've got some time. La, la, fa, fa, la, la, re, re, la, la. We've got la, la, fa, fa, la, la, re, re. And then we've got the rest of the song, which uses the same chords as the first 4. So what chord is built on La? Well, we know in the key of D, La is B, and they're just chord notes, and they're just scale notes. So it's a B minor chord. The next chord is kind of fun. It's a G chord. It's a Fa chord. But the melody note is E, so you could think of it as a G6 or an E minor in first inversion. Then we go back. La, la, re. Now, when you listen to this, you're going to hear there's a little sparkle in that chord, and that's our F for our 2 chord. So we've got even more repeated stuff. We've got the same 2 chord, the major 2 chord, the re, fi, la, happening in this middle section. What we call economy of means. So now we've got the chords. We've got the D chord, the 1 chord, the do, mi, so chord with a flavor of La. We've got the re, fi, the 2 chord, the major 2 chord. We've got the 4 chord, and we've got the 1 chord. We've got the La-based chord, the 6 minor chord, and then the 4/6 chord. The Fa on the bottom chord. Again, the 6 chord, and then the 2 major chord. There you go. So we translated it to solfège. We mapped it to the instrument. We've done those things mentally, having a strong image of the keyboard or whatever instrument you play provides you. And then we can work out what the chords are on the instrument slowly enough to pre-hear. So to play the bass line, we've got do, la, so, mi, re, fi, re, fi. Notice this note is not there in this bass line, but we know that it is there because B is hiding in E. Different story, different time. Fa, la, do outlines the chord. The bass line outlines the chord. And then do, la, so, mi, like that. So this is a chord. You could think of it as a B minor 7th chord, or you could think of it as a D 6 chord, as in D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D6 chord, or the 1 chord, or the tonic triad, or the do-based triad. And then, of course, for the little in-between section, the third little section, we've got our la, la, fa, fa, la, la, re, re. And now we can think la, right? Because we're just walking up the scale, skipping notes. Fa, same thing, walking up the scale. La, re. And then back home. Fall into the gap. If you find these strategies helpful, I've got a little email course. It's 5 emails that come once a day into your email box. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes each day to review some complementary strategies with an even simpler assortment of repertoire. But the simple songs that are common to many people are the ones that I choose for that. If you have a song that you want this treatment for, shoot it into the comments, and I can either make a video or I can create a whiteboard for you, and you can download it right here. So you can download a PDF of the music that you put in and email it to or send it to anyone you want to. You can take the email course. Make sure to try out the whiteboard, whiteboard.tuneindigo.com. I made another video a couple weeks ago that shows you how to use the first version of the whiteboard. Now I'm adding little things here and there. I really appreciate your time. I hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot for listening.